Has your verbal score stagnated at 26, 27 and you're not able to break that stagnation? What to do? In this video, I'll share a few strategies that you can use to break the stagnation in your verbal section. Hi, my name is Mandeep. I'm a GMAT coach and founder of GMAT Mantra. So I'm talking about those students who have already attempted GMAT or who have been preparing for GMAT for last few months, and they have given some mock test or given the GMAT and they are scoring consistently around V25, 26, 27, somewhere in this range, and they have been practicing a lot of questions but still they don't see any improvement. So what to do? So first thing you can do is stop practicing more questions, because we have this philosophy that the more we practice the better we get. But the problem with the more practice is that if you're following the wrong approach or you're taking the actions in the wrong direction, you get better in wrong things. So more practice will not improve your verbal score. So first, stop focusing on number of questions. Okay, work with minimum number of questions. Second, take one section at a time. What happens is that we focus on sentence correction, critical reasoning and reading comprehension at the same time. So once we are doing, let's say, sentence correction, if you're not able to improve in sentence correction, we move to critical reasoning. If you're not able to improve in critical reasoning, we move to reading comprehension. Don't do that. Take one section at a time. So let's say you start with critical reasoning. So stick with critical reasoning as long as you start getting at least 80% accuracy consistently. It's not that your accuracy is varying from 50% to 80% and you're moving to sentence correction. No, stay with critical reasoning as long as it takes. Okay, otherwise you will be coming back to critical reasoning again. So take one section at a time. So once critical reasoning is done, then move on to sentence correction, then focus on sentence correction, and then move on to reading comprehension. So take one section at a time. So that's next thing. So focus on unlimited number of questions. Second is take one section at a time. Third, when you start practicing, let's say you're doing sentence correction and you get a question wrong. So when you get a question wrong, don't look for the explanation for that question from any source. Normally what happens when we get a question wrong, we start seeking explanation for that question from official guide, or we go online and go to GMAT club and start reading the explanation given by some experts. Don't do that. Okay, stick with that question, stay with that question, solve it yourself. You will be able to solve it if you spend time with that particular question. Normally what happens, we just stay with the question for 2 minutes and then we just move on to the explanations. We don't have the patience or the focus to look at that question for maybe half an hour, 1 hour. Because if you stick with one question, you'll be able to solve it. So focus on solving each question yourself. Stop looking at the explanations. That is the next thing. Fourth, master the approach. Normally what happens that we just try to solve the question and we are trying to find the answer. We are not bothered how we get the answer. So we don't have a consistent approach to solve a particular type of questions. So for example, in sentence correction, sometimes we are relying on the intuition, sometimes on the meaning, sometimes on the grammar. So there is no consistent approach. So if you don't have a consistent approach, probably under time pressure, you'll not be able to solve questions in timed manner because we just have 2 minutes. So focus on mastering the approach. So there should be a consistent approach to solve a particular type of question. And last, in the final exam, for example in verbal, we have 36 questions and 65 minutes. So what we do, we try to attempt all the questions. Don't focus on number of questions, focus on accuracy. So let's say you're able to attempt 30 questions properly. So out of 30, try to get at least 80 to 90% accuracy. So if you get 80 to 90% accuracy, you get around 36, 37, 38 easily. But if you try to attempt all the questions, in that rush, you make a lot of silly mistakes. So because of that, you lose score or lose points on verbal section. So focus on accuracy. So let's say you do 25 questions, try to get all of them right. You'll always get the maximum score possible. So focus on accuracy. Don't run after attempting all the questions. So try to follow these strategies if your score has stagnated. And if you follow each step properly, you will automatically see improvement happening. Thank you.